Doing this work does not exempt you from problems. Doing this work does not exempt you from obstacles. And doing this work will absolutely make you face the music of who you've been being the entire journey. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Brittany. Hey, your manifesting mentor. I'm not a coach, I'm not a guru, but I'm a woman who walks the walk and who shares what works. I almost forgot my lines, but who gonna show me, boo? I am popping up on your timeline in a different format. You guys are used to seeing me walk the walk and share what works, but this time I am sitting in what I consider to be one of my new sets. I am in my element. I actually got dressed today, which I don't do that often for you guys, but I decided that I wanted to do some things because if you know me, you know that I am all about embodiment. So one of the latest lessons that have come up for me, and I've shared it in some of my videos on TikTok and here in my YouTube shorts, was what the actual work looks like. What it means to wake up every day and create a vision for yourself and then decide who you're going to be throughout your day, moment to moment. I shared about a podcast that I recently watched. I'm not familiar with the creator, but I do recall that one of the guests that she had on was actually an instructor for Dr. Joe Dispenza at his various workshops, and she does other trainings with him, but she has been a longtime student of his work as well. And one of the things I can appreciate about the way that he teaches his format is what I'm going to call it, because a lot of what Dr. Joe teaches is not new. What Dr. Joe Dispenza has done very, very well was to marry the science with the mystical. So he's marrying neuroscience with quantum physics, with all of the things that I've learned along my journey from people like Neville Goddard, law of attraction teachers like Abraham and Esther Hicks, so on and so forth. I think Joe's genius is that he does a very good job at marrying all of these concepts that can be very, otherworldly, very heavily scientific, but he chunks it down to size so that we can all understand it and actually apply it to our everyday lives. So one of the things that they were talking about in this podcast series or episode was that the work looks like when things happen throughout your day, who do you decide to be in those moments, right? So we do the meditations not so that we can escape reality. We do the meditations so that we can become aware of our own program. We do the meditations so that we can, in the moment, make a different choice, a choice that will then align us with the version of ourselves that we desire to be, who we know we truly are, right? What I love about Joe's meditations is that he helps you to prime your body into being comfortable and feeling at home with whatever that vision is that you hold for yourself. Because part of what most of us will run up against is our own program and a lot of resistance, right? So even if we get the thing we pray for, or the thing that we've been manifesting for so long, even if we get that thing, a lot of people, if you have not practiced being the version of you who can hold it, you'll lose it. And Michael Beckwith talked about this, and he once said that, we can easily manipulate the laws of the universe to try to get things and get experiences and manifest things. But a lot of times, if you don't practice being the vibration of the version of you who is comfortable with that thing, is confident with that thing, is feeling like you're worthy enough to have that thing or that experience or that person, then you will not maintain it. So part of what these two women in this podcast talked about resonated so much with me that I made a video about it on TikTok. I made a video about it here on YouTube, but I'm making a longer form video about it because I really want people to understand that this work is not for the faint of heart, right? This is not a get something quick model for manifestation. I think this is one of those models that we credit Dr. Joe Dispenza for in a lot of ways. This is one of those models that you can carry with you for the long haul, through the highs and the lows of life, because we all know that doing this work does not exempt you from problems. Doing this work does not exempt you from obstacles. And doing this work will absolutely make you face the music of who you've been being, the entire journey. And I think that kind of model is much more sustainable for the long haul, for the journey of life, right? Hopefully you get to live a long life. And if it's long, I call it a journey, but if it's long, you get to have this model to constantly return to as a practice over and over again. And you will need it, because that's the part of being human. We come here to forget in order to remember, right? So daily we are forgetting and remembering, and that's the practice. And so this practice is something that's sustainable. And if you practice the meditations, you know what I'm talking about, because you know that the more you frequent being the version of yourself, for example, if you are manifesting health because maybe you're overcoming an illness, if you practice tuning into that version of you with all the tones of your reality, meaning touch, taste, feel, sight, hearing, I think I got them all. But if you can practice that, what you're in essence doing is training your nervous system. Sorry, I got somebody in my background watching. But if you can practice that, what you're doing is training your nervous system to be okay with that vision that you're holding. You're literally tricking your subconscious into thinking that it's having the experience before you physically actually get to experience it. And that's the whole point. You want to become the version of you who doesn't contradict the very thing that you're calling in. So if you're calling in health, you want to be the version of you that when you get bad news from your doctor, or you get that bad test result, right, that you're not automatically spiraling into hopelessness because you've been practicing what that version of you who gets to be healthy feels like. So even if you feel sad in the moment, even if you feel fear in the moment, you don't stay there, right? Because you've developed a practice that lets you know that this is a reality, but it's not the only reality that I can tune into. And then you give yourself a taste of what it would feel like to be healthy again. And guess what? Over time, you're teaching your body that you are safe to feel healthy. You are safe to be at ease. You are safe to not fear a prognosis or a diagnosis. You are safe to feel safe. And eventually, as Joe teaches, the more you practice this, the more familiar it becomes to your body, but also the universe does this thing where it conforms to meet you where you are. It conforms to meet you at the vibration that you are emitting through your electromagnetic field that surrounds your body. Like, that is the magnet to all that we encounter in this reality. And so I had to show up and share that with y'all live and in color, because once again, I don't always do this format. And also, I'm aligning with my desired reality. I'm aligning with my desired outcome, my desired future. I'd love to be able to be the one who gets divinely compensated, very much so, through my gifts and talents and the things that I love to do, which is sharing with you about the things that light me up inside, which is enlightenment, spirituality, personal development, the things that make me feel more free in this reality. I'm passionate about sharing that. And I'm also passionate about sharing my fits, because I'm a fashion girl, I'm a fashion girly. I come from the daughter of a hairstylist, the granddaughter of a fashion legend in her church. And I love this. I love expressing myself through my clothes, right? And part of what I had to realize is that if I'm going to be teaching these things, then I need to fully embody even the parts of me that scare me sometimes in terms of whether or not I think it's gonna happen. Because I, like anybody else, I have doubts sometimes too, and that's what I love about, some of the teachers that I tune into, is that they're realistic about what it means to be human and also still practicing supernatural practices. And what it means is that you are not immune to your emotions. You're not immune to fear. You're not immune to doubt. but you do have a toolbox with tools in it that you can use to your advantage to return and remember who you really are and the power that you truly have. So I've been doing that. I've been challenging myself. This is one of my attempts at making sure that I show up authentically, because if I am to meet my desired reality in this 3D experience, I want to meet her ready. I want to meet her having conditioned my nervous system to not only experience it as a one-off, but over the long haul. I want to teach my body that this is my norm. And how do I do that? Through practice. Everything that we do is through practice, through repetition. It's how we learn. It's how we become. And so this is my demonstration. And if this resonates with you, please let me know in the comments, because this is why I show up. You know, I know that my experiences are not just my own. These lessons that I learned are not just for me to keep to myself, because some people, somebody, somewhere in the universe, in this world, can resonate with what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with and how I process things. And so that's why I show up here. At any rate, I can go on and on. I'm a yapper, but I'm gonna wrap this video up. I also dropped not a get ready with me, I dropped a outfit of the day on my look today. Let me make sure. My hair, because it was sticking out on my side. Anyways, I'm having a bad hair day today. I need a perm, and I'm gonna get my hair done soon. But this hat came in handy, and it just completed the look that I'm rocking today, which I'll drop the video on my shorts and on my TikTok for what I'm wearing today. Anyways, yeah, I think I covered it all, y'all. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the version of you that you want to be, that you want to experience, and that you want to sustain exists. And all you need to do is connect with her or him every single day through your moment-to-moment awareness and decision-making. And so for me, this is me showing up like this because I'm aligning with that version of me right now. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is your reminder, and you got this.